Hi Taurus, welcome to your week ahead horoscope with me, Raphael from Reydiant Reality. It's an absolute pleasure to have you. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for joining me. Quick note, my readings are for your sun, moon and ascendant sign. So whether you're a sun, moon or rising sign Taurus, this is for you. And I always advise that you watch all three to get a clearer, more complete picture of how they're going to speak to you. With that said, remember they are general readings, so not everything's going to resonate with everybody, and that's just fine. Don't forget to use your own discernment. Before we start, as always, I would like to bless my deck of cards with all forms of love, light, peace, prosperity and abundance. And I pray that the messages that come through are ultimately clear and concise and they help you on your path to your highest vibrational good. So your key to the week card is the Emperor. Just quickly as well, if you're not a subscriber, please hit the subscribe button if it resonates with you. And for those of you that are continued subbies, you know Rafi loves you. Your Emperor card is basically talking about your work, your profession and your studies. This week, Taurus, you have to get your head in the game. Whatever it is that you've been working on behind the scenes, whatever it is that you're working on now is demanding more of your time, more of your attention. And because it's the Emperor, this is about you being more strategic. It's about you getting command of your environment. Whether that's that you work from home, whether it's that you work for somebody else. Like this week, you're having to really dig into your leadership skills, and also you're having to demonstrate your smarts. You've got to come up trumps for yourself and let people know who you are, what you can do and what you're about. Remember the other thing with the Emperor card, this is about slow, steady power. It's, the Emperor isn't loud. He doesn't shout. Like, don't get me wrong, like the Emperor card is literally that energy. Like if you look at this on the Rider-Waite card as well, he's covered in a shawl, right? But underneath he's got that armor. And that's the message of the Emperor. If I need to, I will go to that place. However, I understand how to be a strategic mover in some way, shape or form. All right, so let's have a look. For your foundation this week, you've got the Queen of Cups. Finding the right balance between justice and, as the pillars are called as well, interestingly enough, the pillars of mercy and severity, right? So this is about finding that balance this week, knowing when to assert yourself and knowing when to pull back, knowing when to nurture and nourish and knowing when to teach and discipline, right? You got to find the right balance between it all this week. For your actions and options this week, you get the Seven of Swords, right? So a few things here because it's coupled with the Emperor. This week you've got to be on the lookout for misinformation. I will say this as well, you need to double check your own facts. The reason I say this is because you have the Seven of Swords in the actions and options. Now, this isn't saying that you're actively going to lie about something. It may be that the information that you have that you're disseminating is outdated. So you've got to fact check yourself this week, all right? Whatever information you're giving or disseminating, you have to make sure it's correct or it's right or it's above board. The other thing that comes up with this card as well, outside of its usual meanings, it can represent something being done in a very unconventional way. So this week, if you're doing something that sees you going around about the houses and everybody's looking at you like, okay, what's going on there? Don't worry about the naysayers. You do what you have to do. If as long as your strategy and your end goal is on point, this week, if you have to take the scenic route and a detour in some way, shape or form, take it, right? It's really not a problem, but you've got to make sure that the destination is clear in your mind, and you've got to make sure that you're not deceiving anybody on the way, even if that's inadvertently. Got to make sure your information is on point. For your communications and conversations, you've got the World card. Ooh, exquisite. The reason I say this, when it comes to your communications this week, you could be interviewing with a bigwig, you could be sitting down with a boss, you could be gaining an amazing client or working with an amazing client. Remember that Seven of Swords, right? If you have to go round about the houses, fine, no problem. But you've got to make sure you are sticking to the truth, right? Especially because this looks like a big player in some way, shape or form. And because you've got that Emperor card there, you don't need to embellish. You don't need to sweeten it up or anything like that. You can just give it you know, as, I mean, you're Taurus, hello. You know, you guys are pretty much as straight-laced as it comes. You know, what you see is what you get, no subtlety. For those of you that work for somebody else, this could be finally the recognition that you've been waiting for in the job, in the career, in the academics. For some of you, this could be going to a next level. This very often this card comes up for things like promotions, things like accolades, recognition for hard work or hard efforts that have been put in. I love to see this. It's also going to see you really starting to understand who your people are when it comes to the work, right? With that Seven of Swords though, be careful of office politics or, you know, I think they call it water cooler talk, you know, when everyone's around the water, or we call it kettle talk here in the UK. Tea. For those of you that are business owners, entrepreneurs, solopreneurs, people that work for themselves, this could be you interacting with a very big client, getting a new client. This could take you in a really amazing direction. The thing is, because it is the World card, this could see you really tapping into a brand new network. And so it's doubly important that you stick to the facts, right? Don't embellish. Don't say that you can do something that you can't do. What am I trying to say here? It's, you know, even if you say, look, you know what, I can't do that, but I can find out how to do that, but I can also offer you all of this. Like, just be bold, brash and blunt and to the point. The more so you are, the better you're going to be received. For those of you that are retired or no longer working for any reason, it looks like some of you are graduating. This might be a course that you decided to study. Maybe it's a discipline that you decided to incorporate into your life. For some of you, this is a new pattern or cycle that is coming into being, and it's taken a lot of discipline, or will take a lot of discipline for you to integrate into your life. So I really like that for you guys, actually. I think it's great. For your money and materials, you got that Chariot card. So you got 2 sevens here, right? Why? Because the Chariot card is number 7. The 7 of Swords is right above it. So the first thing, where somebody has lied on you, where you've felt like you were on the back foot and you're having to defend yourself in some way, shape or form, it looks like you will either get an apology this week, or that lie that's been told about you will be discovered, or revealed is probably a better way to put it. Now, because you've got the Chariot card, money looks good this week, especially because you've got this World card. Something that happens this week puts you squarely in touch with an international connection in some way, shape or form. It's going to see you really accelerate in your work, your business and your finances. This is very, very exciting. 2 sevens is about news, and that's why I say to you this week, something is revealed to you, but it's dealt with very quickly, right? Anything that happens with the Chariot card does not take long at all. Now, that said, when it comes to your physical health and vitality, this is going to be especially because you've got the World card there as well, this is going to be your stomach. For those of you that have suffered, I'm not a medical professional, I can't give you medical advice, but for those of you that have suffered with things like acid reflux, all of that kind of stuff, this week you could have a breakthrough in that kind of a challenge that you've had. For your home and environment, the Chariot card is really nice for the home. It does suggest though that it will just be really, really busy. So, and when that is the case, I often say to people, watch out for, because you know what it's like when you're rushing around, you know, you end up knocking into things. Or my personal absolute favorite is when you're rushing and your t-shirt or something gets caught on the hook of the door. The amount of crazy moments that's caused for me, I'm sure you can all relate. For your love and relationship, you've got the Page of Pentacles. This is really nice. Pay attention to what comes up in your relationship if you're married or in a partnership. I say this because whatever's going on, you're likely to be revisiting in January. Well, late December coming into January, Capricorn season, for those of you that know. When it comes to those of you that are single, this is a great week to be meeting somebody. It's really interesting as well with that 7 of Swords in your actions and options. Don't try to be something that you're not. if this person is going to like you and eventually love you for who you are, you have to be all of who you are now, whether that is the most evolved version of yourself or whether you look like absolute crap because you haven't slept for 4 days and you've got, do you know what I mean? Like, it doesn't matter. Present yourself as you are, not as you would like to be or like to be seen, right? Because that's gonna bring you the best. If you are meeting someone, this is likely to be somebody that's older than you, somebody that's very well established because you've got the Emperor card there, somebody that's, you know, got a title, is well traveled even. For those of you that are partnered, married or in relationships, again, whatever happens this week you'll be revisiting later, but with that Page of Pentacles, it also suggests that you guys will either go into some form of business together or you're having an idea of how you can get ahead and maybe, just maybe, start you know, maybe saving more money or making more money as a collective. Like, I think you're going to be looking at the resources long term over the course of this week. All right, and then finally, for your full moon message, that powerful full moon in Aquarius, you got the Gate 10 and Empower. I love this card because it basically says, by being who you are, all of who you are, not just the bits that you like people to see, but all of who you are across the board, you allow other people to see you being your true authentic self, and that gives them license to do the same. This is about empowering others by empowering yourself. You see how the figure in the card is looking at the mirror? That's about, okay, you know what, maybe I don't like all the things about my reflection, but it doesn't mean that I can't be who I truly am. And more importantly, it doesn't mean that even if I've got blemishes, even if I've got things about me that I'm not necessarily 100% happy with, I'm still worthy of everything that I want. I'm still worthy of love, and more importantly, it's my flaws and my imperfections that make me wonderfully perfect. All right, so that's what the full moon is trying to show you. Let people see you exactly as you are. The more honest, the more open, the more vulnerable, quite frankly. Not something that you guys do well, I have to say, but the more of that you allow people to see, I think they're going to love you for it. All right. With that said, I wish you an abundance of all of that good stuff. Let me know in the comments how it shapes up. Take care, and I'll see you soon.